Welcome to Industry Gossip. My name is Manish Kata, and with me, as always, CMO Christopher Norton, ready to talk some shit.
All right, so first up, investing unicorn Vise sees an executive exodus after their AUM magically fails to materialize. Underrated or overrated?
This is the third time this company has made it on our list. And look, we have nothing personal against Vise, but this is so overrated. At one point, I called this one of the biggest scams in fintech, and I stand by that. I have stats to back it up. Hang on a second. So $555 million in total assets is what they have. They've raised a total of $128 million since they were founded. The latest round was $65 million at a $1 billion valuation. So let's work into those numbers. $550 million AUM, 50 basis points. That's roughly $2.8 million in revenue, which would value them at 358 times revenue for a company that no one is asking for. There's no demand for AI-driven model portfolios. I'm just so perplexed that this continues to be a story. The story itself is overrated, but these resignations are not underrated for at least the VCs that are gonna get their shirts handed to them pretty soon. So moving on, we shouldn't have this come back as for a fourth round. I suspect they'll be out of business before we have another conversation about this.
I concur. So, Onramp Invest, the platform for financial advisors to manage cryptocurrencies with the marketing plan of a Broadway show, has apparently run out of money and watched their CEO resign, along with several employees who either resigned or were asked to. Underrated or overrated?
This news is overrated. Couple reasons. We have friends at the firm. Nothing personal against them. We're here to report all news. Number one, they came out of the gates swinging with Broadway show type advertisements and WSJ and all the swag that was flying around. You know, it's a questionable product to begin with. I don't think crypto is even remotely near the adoption for advisors that these companies think it's going to be at. And they ran out of money. It was poorly run. They spent too much money. They hired too many people, and the revenue didn't come in to back it up. So I think if the social profiles of the people involved weren't so high, this would be a back burner story of literally a business that was poorly run with a questionable product to begin with.
Well, it is a new era for 401k management platform FeeX. The company announced in February that after raising $80 million in 3 separate funding rounds in 18 months, that they were also changing their name to Pontera, which is Latin for bridge. Underrated or overrated?
This is overrated. I need to really sit down with VC people and get a lesson on why they're giving out so much money to products that I don't see have a huge future. Now look, it is a slick tool in the sense that you can manage these held away assets, and that's the point of FeeX, right? You can manage and take fees from held away assets that normally you can't manage. However, you cannot put these clients into models. You have to manage each of them individually. It's really burdensome on your back office and you as an advisor to manage all these individual plans. And I just don't see what they're going to do with $80 million at this point. To me, it's a cute product. I don't think it's something you can scale, and I don't think it has a bright future to justify that kind of money.
I just don't understand why they had to go Latin. Bridgera really rolls off the tongue. Well, Envestnet is reportedly up for sale. Again, underrated or overrated?
I think this news is a little overrated. They've been reportedly for sale for a couple years. I think in general, a lot of these larger TAMPs are having a hard time integrating all these different tools they've purchased over the years. And I think they're not realizing how hard it is. And so maybe they're just fishing to kind of either raise money or get out of the way. I don't think this is going to mean much for advisors or users of Envestnet. You know, some firm will come in, take majority ownership, make some changes around the edges, but essentially the product is solid from the core, and I don't think this news is anything to fret about.
All right, last one. Choir, the startup founded to shake up financial conferences, is gaining traction with over 200 speakers and attendees already signing the pledge since it launched earlier this year. Underrated or overrated?
I think this one is properly rated, and let me say why. Because, conceptually, it's a great idea, right? Let's promote diversity. Let's force people's hands by signing this pledge. But I think they're missing a key point in this all. For example, a small company like ours, who has a conference in September coming up here, I'm not going to sign this pledge. We have 3 or 4 sponsors. I'm not going to force them to decide who they should send. I appreciate them sponsoring to begin with, right? Keep in mind, many conferences out there are set up like that where, listen, you have sponsors that are coming in to pay. You're then going to tell them who they can and can't bring to these conferences. I'm just so torn because I think you do want to promote it, but you can't force it with these pledges. And frankly, there's so many other people out there that want to be on the stage that whoever signs this pledge, you know what, you just won't get invited. Like, I'm not signing it for that reason. I need to grow my business, not just for myself, my family, my staff, and all of us. I'm not going to limit myself because some conference doesn't agree to have diversity. I mean, I don't know. I think it's, like I said, I'm torn. It's a good step in the right direction. I think misses the mark because when it comes to pay to play in small companies, they're just going to ignore it.
I'm just disappointed that with a name like Choir, there isn't more singing in their marketing materials. That will do it for this episode of Industry Gossip. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you back next time.
Thank you.
Here's Pursuia, hallelujah, gets you through the darkest day.
Idenai hui Putin, Slava Ukraini.
And creating skies of gray. Hallelujah, hallelujah, helps to shoo the clouds away.